California.
You know, investigators think as many as 24 people saw the rape and did nothing to stop it or even called the police. What's going on? Tamara Holder, criminal defense attorney, joining us from Chicago. And Tamara, I want to just start with the people who are watching. We know the people who actually took part in this hopefully will be charged, convicted, and sent away so they never do this again. But is there any responsibility legally for the people who just watched?
Unfortunately, there's really not. We have this no snitch idea in our society, and that transfers over into our legal community. What happens is we have laws that prevent people in California from failing to report the crime of a 14-year-old. But if they're over 14 and this girl was over 14, then really there's nothing we can do. Now, maybe what will happen is these kids who can't be charged for failing to report, maybe they took pictures. Maybe that now they can be charged with possession of child pornography or something like that. I think that's the way that the state can really charge people who can't be charged for just watching. That's the problem here.
And from what I understand, even if you see a crime of somebody under 14 or 14 or under and don't report it, it's kind of a slap on the wrist. It's a weak law.
Right, it's just a misdemeanor in the state of California, and that was created to protect the killing of a really, really young girl. So it doesn't really apply to this case. And going back to this no snitch theory, you know, we have a problem where people don't report. People are afraid of the police. People are afraid of retaliation in their community. So what do? We can't just create laws, unfortunately, to protect everybody for, you know, people who are watching a crime. It just,
but really,
it doesn't
Tamara,
work that way.
No snitch, I don't think applies in this case. This is just stepping out, calling the cell phone, or doing something to say, hey, please come here, police. This is beyond
I disagree
that.
with you. I respectfully disagree with you. If you recall the Fenger High School case in Chicago here, Jody Weiss, our superintendent of police, he did not get one report from the community. Not one person called to say they were witnessing the beating and killing of a kid. This is an epidemic in our country that people are failing to report, and because they're afraid for whatever reason.
You think they're afraid, or they just don't care?
I think they have to care. But there are these retaliations, and people don't want a stigma. They don't want to face, you know, backlash in their community for telling on somebody else. I think that it's a really, really big problem. I work in the inner city in Chicago. I see it every day. People watch crime go on day in and day out, and they fail to report it, no matter how heinous it is. It's a problem. I don't condone it.
Yeah, I would hate to live in any kind of community where telling the police that a 15-year-old girl is being gang raped is somehow seen as snitching. I guess that does happen, but I find it hard to believe, and I would hope that some of these boys would grow up to be men and realize that. I want to go to I guess it's this email board, the MySpace board. Can you guys take a look and listen to this, Tamara? 100% correct. Some of these kids are being raised with no conscience, zero, none, nada. It's disgusting. I blame the parents, well, and the video games that glorify violence against women. You're in the criminal defense world. You buy any of that?
Of course I do. Parents need to take more responsibility of their children, but if the parents aren't going to do it, we have to see more action in our schools. We have to get a hold of these kids in the classroom and educate them.
Okay.
That's why we send our kids to school.
Tamara, we got to wrap it up right there. We're going to toss over